Imagine writing a story on your laptop and watching it turn into an audio series listened to by hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Instead of selling a book once, your story becomes a continuous stream of episodes. Listeners return day after day, unlocking chapters and following the characters you created. This is exactly what platforms like Pocket FM are trying to build. A place where writers don't just publish books, but create long-form audio entertainment similar to Netflix series. For some authors, this has turned into a surprisingly profitable opportunity. Stories that perform well can generate tens of thousands of dollars, and in rare cases even more. But the reality is more complex than the success stories suggest. Understanding how the platform works and what authors actually earn is essential before deciding whether it's worth pursuing. Pocket FM is an audio storytelling platform where writers create serialized stories that are transformed into narrated audio episodes. Instead of traditional books, stories are released in small chapters that listeners consume like episodes in a TV series. The concept is built around ongoing engagement. A listener finishes one episode and immediately wants to hear the next one. This format encourages binge listening and long-term engagement, which is exactly what the platform wants. For writers, this means the process of storytelling changes slightly. Rather than writing a single complete novel, you are building a long narrative that unfolds over many episodes. Some series on Pocket FM reach 200, 300, or even 500 episodes. The longer a story continues successfully, the more revenue potential it has. Because of this structure, Pocket FM has become an interesting income opportunity for writers willing to commit to serialized storytelling. How Pocket FM pays authors. Pocket FM typically compensates authors through contracts rather than traditional book royalties. In many cases, the company pays writers per episode. Episodes are usually between 1,000 and 1,500 words. Each episode functions like a short chapter designed to end with suspense or a cliffhanger. Payment per episode varies depending on experience, story quality, and contract terms. Some beginner writers might earn around $50 per episode, while more experienced authors can receive $100, $200, or even more. When you consider that a successful story might run for 150 to 300 episodes, the total payment can become significant. For example, an author receiving $100 per episode for a 200-episode story would earn $20,000 for that project. Higher episode rates can increase that number substantially. However, the amount depends heavily on the contract offered and the performance of the story. The revenue share model. In some situations, Pocket FM offers authors a revenue-sharing arrangement. Instead of paying a fixed amount per episode, the platform allows writers to earn a percentage of the revenue generated by their story. Listeners often unlock episodes using virtual coins or subscription systems within the app. As listeners continue following the story, the platform earns revenue. Authors may receive a share of that revenue depending on their agreement. This structure creates a different kind of opportunity. Instead of a fixed payment, the author's income becomes tied to how popular the story becomes. If a story gains millions of listens, the income potential can be much higher than a simple per-episode contract. However, this approach also carries more uncertainty because the earnings depend entirely on audience engagement. The importance of long stories. One of the most important things to understand about Pocket FM is the length of successful stories. Traditional novels might contain 80,000 words and conclude in one volume. Pocket FM stories often extend far beyond that. A popular series may contain hundreds of episodes and hundreds of thousands of words. The reason is simple. The platform is designed to keep listeners engaged for as long as possible. Just like a television series that runs for multiple seasons, longer stories generate more listening time and more revenue. For writers, this means the ability to build extended character arcs, evolving conflicts, and continuous suspense. But it also means committing to a long writing process. Writers who succeed on the platform are usually those who enjoy developing long, serialized narratives rather than short, standalone books. Genres that perform best. Certain genres tend to perform much better than others on Pocket FM. Romance dominates the platform, especially stories involving billionaires, CEOs, complicated relationships, and dramatic emotional conflicts. Supernatural romance also performs extremely well, especially stories involving werewolves, vampires, or fantasy kingdoms. Mafia romance and dark romance have also gained massive popularity because they combine high emotional stakes with intense drama. Thrillers and mystery stories can also attract large audiences, particularly when they involve suspenseful plots that encourage listeners to keep following the story. These genres work well because they naturally support cliffhangers and long story arcs. Each episode can introduce a new twist, a new challenge, or a dramatic revelation that encourages the audience to continue listening. Why audio storytelling is growing. The popularity of Pocket FM is part of a larger shift toward audio entertainment. People increasingly consume content while doing other activities. Listening to stories during commutes, workouts, or household tasks has become extremely common. Audio content fits naturally into daily routines. Instead of setting aside time to read a book, listeners can follow stories while continuing with their normal activities. This convenience has created a rapidly growing market for audio storytelling platforms. As these platforms expand, the demand for writers capable of producing engaging serialized stories continues to grow. Is Pocket FM worth it for writers? For writers who enjoy long-form storytelling and serialized narratives, Pocket FM can be a meaningful opportunity. The platform offers a path to earning money through storytelling without relying entirely on traditional publishing or book sales. It also allows writers to reach large global audiences through audio rather than text alone. However, success requires patience, consistency, and a willingness to adapt storytelling techniques to the episodic format. For some authors, the platform becomes a reliable income stream. For others, it serves as an additional creative outlet alongside other writing projects. Pocket FM represents a new model for storytelling in the digital era. Instead of publishing a single book and hoping readers discover it, writers can build long-running story series that grow audiences episode by episode. For authors willing to embrace serialized storytelling and commit to consistent writing, the platform can provide meaningful financial opportunities. But like any creative platform, success depends on persistence, storytelling skill, and the ability to keep audiences coming back for the next chapter. If you enjoyed learning about new ways writers are earning money online, consider subscribing for more insights into modern publishing.